Meantime, a federal judge in Rhode Island has ordered SNAP benefits to be fully funded by tomorrow. The Trump administration announced earlier this week that it would partially fund the program for November, but during today's hearing, the judge said the administration had not acted quickly enough to release the money from a contingency fund. And despite the federal order, emergency relief announced by Governor Josh Green will continue for those in need. SNAP recipients in Hawaii should be able to spend the additional $250 in relief funds beginning Monday. Recipients should see the extra $250 in their accounts now as a pending benefit.